The family of a young Indigenous man sentenced to life in prison for murder is publicly questioning whether he got a fair trial from an all-white jury. Zak Grieve insists he didn't take part in the murder in Katherine 6 years ago. The judge believed Grieve wasn't present at the murder, but due to the Territory's mandatory sentencing laws, he had to sentence him to life in prison anyway.
6 years after being arrested for the murder of Ray Nisiforo, Zak Grieve still maintains his innocence.
Were you there when Ray died?
No. Chris had taken me home about, I'm going to guess to say about 15, 20 minutes before they'd done it.
In an exclusive interview from Darwin's Holt's prison, Grieve sticks by the story he told at his murder trial. That he didn't realise his friend Christopher Milishko was asking him to help with a murder until it was almost too late.
And I thought, all right, we'll go over and we'll kick his head in. Whereas Chris obviously meant that we were to kill him.
Now Grieve's family is questioning whether the young Indigenous man received a fair trial.
Do you think race played a part in this trial?
I really do.
The judge who sentenced the then 20-year-old accepted that Grieve got cold feet, but the jury found Grieve guilty, either because they didn't believe him or thought he failed to prevent the murder.
It's impossible to know whether the jury were racist or what happened in that jury room, but
I believe they were.
Because of the Northern Territory's mandatory sentencing laws, Justice Dean Mildren was forced to sentence Zak Grieve to life in prison with 20 years non-parole. It was a sentence the judge himself described as unjust. But Zak Grieve's case also stands out because of the sentences of his co-accused. Chris Milishko admitted to bludgeoning Ray Nisiforo to death with a shifting spanner, but got 2 years less than Grieve because he was provoked by the victim. And Milishko's mother, Bronwyn Buttery, confessed to paying $15,000 for the killing, but the jury found her guilty of manslaughter, not murder. She was released from prison 2 years ago. The judge did recommend Grieve be considered for parole after 12 years, but that would be a political process, starting with whoever is Attorney General in 2023. The now 25-year-old says he's not holding out hope that will happen. Stephen Schubert, ABC News.